Okay, is it awesome? Okay, hello everyone. So it's my pleasure to welcome Fitz here. He is multi-business owner, a coach, a network builder, and also he has 30 years in hospitality. And he's going to talk about how to build a career, how to build a successful business, and how to choose a sector for a successful business. So Fitz, the floor is yours. We are very excited.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here as well. It's nice to be asked as you grow through the different businesses that you do. It's always nice to have to give a little bit back. And the reason I'm here is because of determination of growing through any kind of business sector. And it does take a few skill sets, and it also takes for you to be able to ask questions, be in the right tribe, be in the right environment. But the first thing that we've always got to do, there's a little bit of due diligence before you go into any business. Does it care if you're going to open a shoe shop, to a mechanic or a restaurant? You have to do a little bit of homework yourself, and it's very, very rare that people do it. They join forces together, but they're not listening. They're not listening to those who've been in the business for 30 years. They know it all. So for me, and I was one of them, because my first business failed flat. It didn't last a year. And that was because I knew it all. So I'm 57 years young, and I've traveled up and down the UK. I've spent some time abroad through the hospitality. And working in hospitality trade, I've come across so many people who have become my mentor, and learning so much of them, I've sort of been able to have that stepping stone and go and do something for myself. And I was a little bit of a coward to start off with when I'm talking about working for myself, because the first time I tried to do something, I was late 20s, didn't do well. And it wasn't into my mid 40s until I decided to go and to take another stab at it. And I sort of shocked myself because it was successful. So going forward, and I've had my ups and downs and bumps, and I've also diversified my skill sets to different business sectors. So what I want to try and get over to today for anyone who's watching this is that you can achieve what you want to achieve, but you have to be a little bit upfront and honest to yourself and do your research and be patient. So I've come across 7 steps that I look at when I'm looking at any business. Doesn't matter if it's in where I'm building it now. At the moment, I'm building in a direct selling business all around the globe. I've also got my traditional business, but it doesn't come off track of what I'm looking at to see if it's viable, one, to put my investment in money, but most of all, investing your valuable time. Time is the key there, because that is the one product, the one, whatever you want to actually call it, you'll never, ever get back, is your time. So let's invest it wisely. Let's slow down and think. And some of these, these little tips, you've probably come across it yourself before. Some of you are already doing that, and that's good, but stick to your principles. So for me, it really is about making sure you don't leap into things. You've got to slow the little things down, because you are where you are now because of 5, 6, 7 years ago when you made a decision to do something. And sometimes we don't look back on them decisions. But when we do look back, we think, I should have done this. I should have tweaked this. I should have tweaked that. For me, it was all down to that. I tweaked a few things. Now, when it comes to me looking at any business, I've got a rum brand. I'm in the branded business of rum. I've got a restaurant. I've got a wine bar. I've got just about to open a wine studio, wine shop. And this is so-called at the beginning of what the UK is going into recession. But I've also diversified my skill sets into the direct selling operations as well. So that's around the globe with a lot of people. So let me just come back from step 1, because it's very important you understand where you start from something. And what that really comes from is what you've got to really have a look. Then step 1 is quite important for me. The market demand. What is it that you're looking at? What is it, the product, the services? What's the longevity of it? Is it innovative? You've got to really understand the sensitivity of the market. How do you know? It's not just by asking a few friends and your family members, and all of a sudden you run and get the bakery shop where it doesn't really need one. So it's really just doing a little bit of homework. The products and the services that you're going to do, is there a demand from it? Can it grow? Can you have a bit of diversity from it? Can you get some advice of where that product's going? Because the world is changing, and it's changing rapidly at the moment. So there's some industries you shouldn't be looking at. This is my opinion. This is down to me, my opinion. So the market demand, where are you looking at? What is it that you're doing? Because at the end of this, is a little book you've got to get. You can get it on Amazon for $6.99. There's a little book, I would say, each and every one of you to try and get and have a little read. Then number two, I would say the enthusiasm around the products, because the business that I'm in, the alternative business that I'm in at the moment, so many people come into this industry, but they don't really like the products. They're chasing the money. It doesn't work, because if you're selling a service, if you're selling a product, your customer, the person in front of you, will understand your heart's not into it. So would you use the product? Are you enthusiastic about the product or service? Because if you're not, you got to walk away. Just because you see a friend of yours earning thousands of pounds a year, doesn't mean you can if you don't like the product or service. It's very, very vital you get on with that. But going back to number one, it's very, very vital that you understand the product, but you know if there's a demand for it as well. So if we jump down to section 3, so the experience and the capability of what you're looking at. And what I mean by that, if no matter what products or services you're doing, who's behind that product? Who's behind the services? You know, if it's somebody, especially in the direct selling industry, what products? What's a company like? Who's behind that product? What's the capability of that company and the management team? So important. Where's the help coming from? When I started my restaurant, I spent just a little course of splitting who's going to do what. My partner, who's going to be my wife. What's her role? What's my role? Because you should do that before you get into a business. And this is the same when you're looking at other businesses. Who's doing what? Where can I get my information from? Who's my fallback? What's the company capable? Who's the leadership? What's the leadership? All this has to count when you're looking, even if it's a one-man band, even if it's just you and you start off, who are you going to pass some of that work to? Because you can't do everything. You can't be always the negotiator. You can't do social media and your accounts and everything else. You've not got enough time in the day, and you don't need to learn it all, because there's other industries out there that will help you. So again, the experience and the capability of the company that you're going to work with, and it's in my case within the direct selling industry, your sponsor, what does he or she know? Can they help you? It's very, very important. So let's move on to number 4. 4 to me is probably why I left a previous company. And it's good business practice and ethics. I still think you have to be quite ethical in business. And to me, if I'm not bringing a product or a service to the market that I cannot impact someone's life in a positive way, I'm not doing business. That's just me. I'm not doing business. So if you're dealing with another company when you start off, whether it be the accountants, whether it will be the electrician, whatever business section you're in, just look beyond them. Just because of the cheapest or whatever, just look beyond that. What business practice, what good business practice are they bringing to your table? Because at the end of the day, it's your business. And it's very, very vital that you have some ethics and some good business practices in that, because when you're dealing with people, they want to see that as well. And over the years, I've been blessed by connecting myself with so many people and so many business people who I get free advice of. I'm not paying on courses. I go to someone who's 5 years down the road from me, who is extremely successful, and they've guided me for nothing. Why? Because I have good ethics. They have good ethics. Most business people will want to guide you, no matter what trade you're in. They'll want to help. They want to see success. They love when they see things like that. So let's go to number 5. And this is where a lot of people get a little bit tripped up. And it's whether you're starting off with a small business, just you, or you're going to be part of a team, or you're looking at a company to join. What's their back office system like? What's the support, the training? When I started my restaurant business, my hospitality business, I didn't have a manual. I didn't have anything to train someone. I expected them to there's your apron, there's the shop floor, off you go. And to me, it was detrimental to my business. It slowed things down because I have the experience. I've been in that trade a long time, but I should be passing my ethos, what I want out of my business to them. So now in my traditional business, when someone comes in, we hold their hand, we take them through, show them what the tools is, show them how to talk to customers, how we do it. And I do the same in my direct selling business as well. So when someone joins, we let them understand the back office, where they can get in touch with customer services, how to put a business plan together, how to launch their product, how to launch their business, when to launch their business, because it's vital for me to make sure somebody understands a system and support and training. And if you're going to go into business, if you've not got some form of direction for support, some direction to get some training or to train, it's going to be a tough hill to climb, because that system needs to be there for your safety net. And then when it comes down to this, is we all do business for one thing, and it is about growing as well, but we all want to get paid. So if it's a direct selling industry and you're looking at it, just make sure you understand the compensation plan. Is it fair? Can you earn some money? And again, in traditional business, what's your get out clause? How are you going to pay yourself? How are you going to pay yourself, especially when you first start off? Because if you've not done a bit of financial due diligence, that my business costed me 10,000, this is the operation costs, am I going to live? Am I still going to have a job? Am I still going to try and balance them both up? That's why I love the direct selling trade, because you don't need to go and invest that kind of money. You can learn from people like me while you grow, earn some money, learn, build a business, then learn some more. We always should keep learning. So again, always look at that sustainability of the compensation plan, that sustainability for you to make a living out of what you're doing, because it's very, very hard. For the first 2.5 years of my traditional business, I did not take a wage. I held down 1 or 2 jobs that I had. I also started my direct sell business. That helped with my living costs. But my traditional business, I didn't take a wage from it. Why? Because it didn't sustain me to do that. Because if I did, I wouldn't be paying the bills. Just because you see the till ringing, that's not your money, because you owe the doctor, you owe the accountant, you owe whatever services who are using you're using, you owe their bills. But most of all, you owe your staff. Because for me, as soon as I employed one person, I was down the pecking list, because he or she deserved the wage, deserved a living. That's why they want to work for me. Now we've got something of, well, we just dropped a little bit. We've got 11 staff. They come first before I get paid. That's why I do direct sales, because that's more personal to me. So let's look at number 7. One of the, this to me, so many people do not look at this. And this is probably why I slipped up my very, very first business. And that's the financial status of the company and the people that you're dealing with. And what I mean by that, when you're first starting your business up, whether it will be you're going to, if it's a shop, who's supplying you on that shop? Who's supplying to do the goods up and stuff like that? Because sometimes you're dealing with someone who's on the edge of going bust. So you have to have a financial status of the company. When it comes around to direct sales, before you think of jumping into anything, investigate that company. How long have they been going? Are they a limited company? If they are a limited company, you should be able to see their books online. Have some idea of where you're putting your time. Again, your time is most important. So let's put a scenario out. I've started to go and join a new company. I spent 2, 3, 4 years working very, very hard. And I'm just about to get paid, only for the company to go bust. But if I would have checked in year 1, you would have seen the signs from year 1, because it's very rare somebody goes bust overnight. There's a trend. Remember what I said when I started off. You are here from what the decisions you made 5 years ago, 3 years ago. But it has to be consistent to what you're doing. So the financial status of the company is very, very, very important. And there's a little extra one here. And I never said 7, but this to me is so important. When you're going into business, even if you're going into business by yourself, you have to deal with other people. And your circles, your vibe, your tribe is your vibe. If that is wrong and the balance isn't right, your business will not thrive. Because when I went into the business that I'm doing now, I made sure that the team and the people I was working with, that each and every individual can put something on the table for me and vice versa. Because even though it's 57 years young, I wanted to learn I wanted to learn more. Every day I learn of people. And if there's any younger ones, I always say the millennium crowd, that's those under the age of 30, any of you guys, when I speak to you, your vision for the future is amazing. I'm working with people now that I wish I had that get up and go at that age, because at 57 years young, I would have hit where I needed to hit 10 years ago. So you younger ones, grab what you can grab. Make sure you have that vision. Step up with the people that want to really help you and help you for a reason, and the right reason, because they like to see you grow. They like to see you making sure that pass things on like I'm passing to now. And I love working with the younger ones because it makes me feel young as well, because the energy that they have is sublime. It's absolutely unparalleled of how well they want to do. And especially there's some countries that just want to be entrepreneurs. You know, the Asian continent, the African continent, everybody wants to be a doctor or an entrepreneur. And it makes me think, where have I been at 57? And I'm only just getting through my career. So I learn of everyone. But I'm hoping these 7 steps, or the 8 steps, including the little extra one, that you can just take a snippet of that. Now, I've got a PDF. If anybody wants that, I can give it to these guys and you can have a look at that. But it's simple little steps just to make sure that you've got something to follow. And every time I look at something, I tick it off. Yes, company's okay. Yes, there's someone I can speak to. Yes, there's a bit of training there, because no matter what job, what position, what business sector you're going to go into, it's important there's a safety net for you to grow as an individual, to grow as a business. Because if that's not in place, I'm going to think it's a long slog up that mountain for you to get where you need to get to. These are vital points for me, because these vital 7 points helped me to be a 6-figure earner, helped me to build a multi-business, what I'm doing now. Because if it wasn't for the mistakes that I've made and the people that I've connected with, I will not be here now. But I've got to give a lot of, how can I put it, a big high five or whatever to my partner. She is amazing because she takes that pressure off me when it comes down to the finances. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, the right people around you, the right foundations. Is it your mum's going to help you? Your father's going to help you? Your partner? Who's helping you? Because so often we've got that chip on our shoulder and we don't want the help. To me, I ask for help every single time I get something wrong. If I don't know, I'll put my hand up and I ask. Now I know. Now I can get on with it and I don't make mistakes then. So I'm hoping you can have a revisit on this every so often. I can contact me anytime you want to. I mean, that's just a little snippet, just a little snip of making sure you guys understand due diligence has to be first before you do any business. Find it out first. Find your products. Find what makes you tick. Find your worth. And if you can stick to that, I will guarantee somehow you will get successful. But be patient. It's a 2 to 5 year, 7-year plan, not a 2-month plan. So many people do a business, whether it be from direct sales to a traditional business, and they think within a year's time, they're driving a Rolls. They're at that big mansion what they've got. If you can see some of the pictures behind me now, that's my dream board, my goal board. And I change that on a yearly basis. And we're just about to change it now because we're achieving things. Have some vision. Follow the steps. There's some simple steps. Knock on the door for someone who you think's successful. Go and have a chat with them. Go and have a chat with them. Majority of them will love to give you their expertise, give you some advice. A good entrepreneur will always do that for you. Not because he or she wants something from you, because they want to see you as an individual grow. So I'm hoping that a little bit what I've said today just grabs your attention to go for what you want in life. It will take time, it will take patience, and it will take courage. Thank you.
Oh, I just feel like so much energy from you. Like it's like so charging, you know, like it's incredible. Like and it's very inspiring. Thank you very much. So yeah, what I took myself from this is that you have to find a balance in your life, and it's like it's a very nice approach to have respect to your colleagues, to put them first, to to have the stable plan in terms of money, and also like yeah, to have to be transparent, to actually like your products, not to just sell something that you don't want and fool people. So you actually take pride in what you do, and it's just amazing. And so could you please share some of your own products, what you did, and how does your strategy reflect in your products?
Right. I'm privileged because I when I say that I'm privileged is because I've not had much heartache in life, with people having a lot of tragedies in life. Even though I say that, I'm an emotional person and I have ethics. I wear my heart on my sleeves, and sometimes I've got to be careful how I interrupt and say things to people, because sometimes I'm too passionate, or I'm not passionate, or I'm standoffish. So it's finding that balance. So in the direct selling industry, I'm working for an amazing company, cash rich, debt free, 16 years old, and they're dealing in cellular health, something that we ignore, or something that when we get around our 40s, that's when we want to start looking after our health better, because we want to live a little bit longer. And it's not just having looking good in the pair of jeans and a tight top and a bit of muscle. No, it's really about making sure your cellular health is okay. So working alongside this company called ZIPINAR, based in Europe, an amazing company. So why did I pick them? I had to kiss a few frogs to actually get to the right company. And one of the things that jumped out with me was the people involved. They don't buy talent. That's what I love of this industry, of this particular company within this industry. They will not buy talent. My sponsor is an amazing bloke. He was on here last week. Amazing gentleman. Now his story is one to watch as well and listen to. And then there's another gentleman who's a little bit higher up in the organization, ex-football player, ex-newsman. He's not 40 years old, six-figure earner, spends most of his time working the company to help people. So that's why I picked this particular company, and why I like what I do with the products that I have, which are scientifically tested, that it does exactly what it says on the tin. Everything that we do is test-based, nothing else, test-based. So for me, I've got a company that really thinks about the people itself, but it gives me the opportunity as an independent business partner. Independent means I pay my own taxes. It's up to me. I get paid what I'm worth. So if I put the hours in and help other people to grow, I'm going to grow. That is why I love this particular company. The products are validated. The products are best in class. The products do exactly what it says on the tin. And I am proud to say that. And I'm proud to not class as myself as a secret agent, because I validate the products myself personally, because I get experience from the products myself personally. That is why when I said one of the sections, if you can't get on with the products, you're not using the products, it's not your business. This is my business. I find my home in that side. When it comes to my traditional business, give me a nice bottle of red. I'm always there. I love my wine trade. So that's one of the reasons I build that. And I'll always be part of that. But the direct selling is my pension. It's the only thing that will outweigh and outperform any pension scheme out there. But you need to find the right people to work alongside. And I found one of the most honest, hardworking individuals who wants their success to be my success. That's why I picked this particular company, and it took me a while to get to this particular company.
Nice. So you also do business coaching, don't you? So one of my questions was, as I was thinking about what you were saying, so I will come from some of my personal experience. So me and my friends, we are thinking about opening a business, and my friends and I, we have this mindset that you can be friends with your colleagues. You can be friends with everyone, like me, my best friends, and like the friend group. So what do you think? Like, because some people say that it's not, it's not very good to build business with your friends. It's not very ethical, or there may be some problems. So what is your personal opinion? Should Is it a good idea or not?
A couple of things you've got to look at. It's how strong, this is for me, how strong is that relationship before any business? And then you've got to define, if this relationship is strong, then you've got to define your roles within the business. And then you've got to find who's the decision maker. Is it all of you? You all put your ideas together. So do the preliminaries first before you put pen to paper and you call yourself something limited, 3 directors, 4 directors. Whose role is whose role? And there's plenty of companies, and you can get this free as well, who will let you to come in. When we was doing our traditional business, we had a huge wall at this whiteboard, and we talked about furniture, we talked about accounting, we talked about social media. That's fine, but who's in charge? Who's going to do it? Whose role is it? So before you do anything, section off your roles. Then what you need to look at, does both of your life expectations and journeys, is it close? Is it similar? You know, because if after a while you might want to go to a different path, and that's where the disgruntledness of a cooperation or a partnership can pull apart. So treat the business relationship as if it was a marriage relationship. So plan it out first. You can't always just hold you. I didn't really want that, but speak first. But I must say, like a personal relationship and a business relationship, communication is key. Nothing can beat it. Communication. You can throw a million pound at a problem, but it'll still get messed up if there's no communication what that £1 million was for.
Yeah, personal boundaries, communication, like, you know, I want to do that, I'm interested in that, I don't want to do that. It's not personal because I don't want to do that, but it's just, I'm not interested in this. And if I'm not interested in this, I wouldn't be productive in this. So this is amazing. So
but
guys,
your partner may be. You may not be interested in doing social media because it scares you, but your partner is fantastic at it. Just long as you have some guidelines and you create, right, okay, John, you're very good at social media, right? This is our remit of what stories and what we should put up there. That's your baby, right? You're good at accountants and this, that, and the other, and dealing with grants and all. That's yours. I'm good at property, blah, blah. So you know the bits where you're gelling from, rather than then every so often learn each other's little bit of, teach from each other. Because there's going to be a time when you're poorly. There might be a time in a few years' time you want to buy out the contract. You want to come out of the business. Who's going to take over their role? So it's communication is key.
Yeah, and sometimes this friendly relation can actually suffer from this. So
yes,
you know, it's like sometimes you cannot not divide this. Obviously, you can like, okay, this is business, like business is business, but you are still my friend no matter what. Yeah. So now, guys, have an exclusive, amazing opportunity to ask your questions, because I'm just thrilled about this presentation, and
thank you.
This is amazing. So you can ask your questions in the chat, or you can ask our host to unmute you and to ask questions out loud. Let's see, you can raise your hand also, I think. Yeah, because this program is a bit tricky, so
No worries.
you have to allow it to some time. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question for Spencer. Spencer,
okay.
This is Ravi. So,
Hi.
Any specific industry you feel good to start in the current trends?
Which industry to start in?
Yeah.
For me, and depending on where you are in life, I would say to find out what really makes you tick first. It's really about you personally. This is just from me. And find out where you want to go to, how much you want to earn. And then if you're not a big risk taker, that is why I like direct sales. And the reason why I like direct sales, because you can find a product or service within that market that will not disrupt your current means of income at the moment. But you can build 2, 3, 4 hours alongside that. Learn from people from all walks of life who are in that industry. Pick their brains. Earn as you learn. And all of a sudden, you'll find your posture changes, your outlook of where you want to do changes. Then if you want to go back into finance or go and open a restaurant or a bar, sometimes we ain't got the funding and the knowledge to do that first. But we may like our job. But if you can go into me and find a product within direct sales which I think it is a business, an industry that's going to grow stronger and stronger. What that will allow you to do with a small investment is work alongside someone who's going to train you, look after you, making sure you're following certain steps, a system. And then beyond that, you're going to be dealing with people from all walks of life in that way, from directors, doctors, nurses. You're going to learn a wealth of information and backup coming from that. But going forward, there's a book called Surfing the Tsunami, and it's an absolute incredible book. It's $6.99 on Amazon, and what that's going to give you is what's coming in the future. And if you just give me a little money, and I didn't get the book to start off with, so I read it again. And I can remember I was up in London, and I went into, some of you may have already been in, I went into an Amazon shop, and I logged into my Amazon account. I walked into the Amazon shop. I picked my stuff that I needed. I walked straight out without going to a till, without seeing anyone. When I walked straight out, it already charged me. The technology which is around today, the millenniums need to embrace that, because that's what's happening. Now you've got the bigger supermarkets looking at that kind of technology. So that means there's going to be a lot of jobs lost in the next 10 years. So if you want to grow in an industry that is growing, find the mark of the product, one, that you can learn something of, two, you're interested in the product, but you can't say any sector what's to jump into. There's about 15 product sectors or business sectors for the future that is going to happen, and it's on its way. It's already started. But you have to pick something what makes you want to get out of bed for you, the excitement. But also you need someone to, this is a slight mentor for you, because if I didn't have any mentors around me when I first started, I don't think I would have made it. I don't think I would have made it. And there's too many gurus out there charging you for these courses, charging you to do this, that. I don't think there's, this platform is an amazing platform. And because I've watched a couple of the videos on, jumped up on YouTube, and I've looked at your sites, and you've got some great people giving some amazing nuggets. So there's not a specific industry for you to jump on. You start off something basics for what you can afford to do to start off with.
Amazing. And we have a Kieran who raised his hand. So Ravi, could you please unmute him? Hi.
Hey, my question is for Spencer.
Hi.
Hey, Spencer, thank you for doing this. Really appreciate it. So I'm in a different industry. It's like in IT, but the jobs, the things I know in the IT. But I have interest and an idea in a different field. I think you partially answered my question in the previous answer, but I'm asking this specific to the area. So just finding the mentor or finding a partner, what kind of approach will be then good? Just for example, think about the food industry. That I want to launch a food, something like a food packaged food or a cereal, just an example. So in that case, so is that finding the mentor or finding a partner? What do you suggest?
I can only go back to my my sales days when I was a wine salesperson, and prior to that I worked for a copier company. Now I remember having a bet with my colleague that I couldn't get this big company as an account, and because everyone's been trying it for the past 2.5 years. Well, for me, I think sometimes we try and go to the juggler of the CEO. They're too busy to see us. So find a way to actually talk to a person in the company or the company or the industry that you're looking at. Sometimes it can be tough to knock on the door, but it's a bit like looking for a job. We always wait till the job's advertised before we go knock on the industry that we want to go into. So it's same with this. Without giving your idea away, is to really do some research and finding out there's people out there can help you. So pick a couple of companies that you like. Pick up the phone, ask them and say, look, I'd like some advice. You know, some of them won't. Some of them might say they've got the time, but I can guarantee you there'll be one or two who will have a conversation with you. And you can have that conversation to find and pick a mentor that will want to help you. Some of the companies, just be aware, they'll want your idea as well. That's why I said, don't give your idea as well. But get the advice from that market, that's that particular market that you're looking for. There's plenty of people out there to help you. You just got to be brave enough to knock on a couple of doors. And by doing so, you'll also learn from other people as well. How do you know the products and ideas that you've not got is not already being produced? And you could see something and tweak and whatever. So I would say find the company, probably a smaller company to start off with, somebody who's stable, a family company, and ask the question, knock on the door. We tend not to do that. We tend to suit to Google all the time, but we tend not to knock on a door. We tend not to just to reach out. And there's many a times that I got that contract many, many years ago is because I didn't go straight to the CEO. I went to what class is the gamekeeper, and that's his PA. And by talking to her, I got a wealth of information to be able to go and get that account. So I'm saying to yourself, with yourself, go to somebody who's not got a big title. Go to somebody who wants to talk to you, who wants to show their skill set, what they know. That's where you're going to get some help. And then you'll be able to link yourself with a mentor that really wants to help you. Wherever you are in the world, go to some networking meetings, find people from there as well who really want an added interest, a valid interest in you succeeding. They're out there, no matter what continent you are, they're out there. I hope that helped.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Nice. So guys, do you have any more questions? Because the time is running out. We're already a bit late. So please raise your hands if you have any questions to ask. Okay, so
I mean, if you have a minute, I can also go with my second question.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry about that. I know we're running late. So the networking wise, finding the people in the networking. So I looked at the internet a long time ago for the score.org. So that's for the finding the mentor or finding people who can help. So I don't know anybody who succeeded with that kind of approach. So any thoughts on that, Spencer?
I didn't quite get that. What you knocked on a door and you didn't get any help?
The score.org.
Right. I would say, I think I know where you're coming. I would say first things first, get yourself offline. Don't ask questions online. Get face to face with someone if you want to get a mentor. Find someone in your local area. If not, go to the next county, go to the next town, go to the next meeting. You will find someone close to you who will want to mentor you. Sometimes online, I love things online, but sometimes it can be a bit cynical because there's always a sign up or a pot goal for you to get a mentor. I think that's wrong. And if you ever want the mentor in business just to guide you in the right direction, give me a shout. I'm happy to do that. You know, I do that in all areas of my life. If somebody wants to chat, and if I'll dig in and find something and find it for them. It doesn't mean that I want something for you. It means it will broaden my experience for helping you do the research. But I would say to yourself, keep local if you can. And that's the beauty why I like direct sales, because when we're in our meetings, the amount of people from different walks of life we meet is amazing. So if you've got a local networking company, I would say to join it, join it, speak to people. They're going to have the local knowledge of where someone may mentor you. So try and keep local. Go to a couple of the meetings around your area. There must be some. I just think now COVID has gone in most places, we can start talking one-to-one, face-to-face again. I think that's the best way to do any form of mentoring.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Amazing. So guys, this is the time for the final question. If you raise your hand now, you have, I feel like I'm in a lottery. This is the time for the final question. Yeah, so okay, so if nobody asks, I will ask I will
Thank you.
Take pride in asking my final question. So what do you think is about the education industry? Because I was wondering, me and my friend, we were going to open a business in education. So it's very fast growing industry, but there's obviously a lot of competition. So do you know any specific things about this industry?
Oh, you shouldn't have asked me that. Education is a personal thing, and what I mean by that, and that's why I'll send you the link for this book. Right. I think education is going to change. I prefer people to go and get an apprenticeship than rather than going to university. That's me. I think if you want to be a doctor or a nurse, fair enough, you need education in a university status. Yeah. But I think if you want to be an engineer or that kind of stuff, go and get the experience as well as get the qualifications and be an apprentice. That's going to give you a couple of things. It's going to make sure that that industry is for you. And it's also going to make sure that you pass with flying colors, and you may end up with some form of employment after that. So education, it depends on what section you're going to look at. I don't know what it is. Is it medical? Is it engineering? What kind of form of education you're going to do that? However, because of the pandemic, there's a lot of education systems that have jumped up online and doing very, very well. You know, so if it's that market, yes, I can see where education is going. And I think in the life to come, the years to come, whether it's 10 years, 5 years, this is my personal view. I think the education system as going to university is going to slow down, and I think it's going to go on online or at home. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, more. I believe that it's like going to be less structured, you know, less you know, unified program for everyone, and just like very, very specific for someone's needs. Because at school, at university, you just learn so many like unnecessary things, and you don't use them. And you just need this practical experience. For example, myself, like I do HR. I had no knowledge about HR. I just got this degree from the university. It's like a piece of paper that has like a lot of money paid for it. And, you know, like I got international relations, so it has nothing to do with HR. But then I just got into HR because I was interested in psychology, and it's like I didn't have an education in psychology, and I didn't have a chance to go study psychology right after. So I'm like, let's just do something that's close to psychology, but it's not psychology. And I just got you know, an internship, and then I got straight to this company because it was experience. I didn't learn anything on the courses, and this is perfect.
It is very, very hard. I always look at it. There's a young lady who she's just left us now from my other business. She's going to leave university with £116,000 in debt. Is that a way to start your adult career after you've left university? I don't know what it's like in other countries, but that is one of the most unforgiving debts to ever have, is a college debt to leave school or university with that. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. University should be about, why do people go to university? Is it, especially the first year, they're always having a laugh and messing about, or they really want to learn and do something? But why would you want to go to an institute and leave with a massive debt? And then when you see them, I would love to do a massive survey and see how many people go to university, and when they leave, they're in that particular business sector or what they were looking at to get a job, and are they doing that? I would say there's a good proportion who are not, but they still got that debt. And because it says on their CV, I went to university. When you can get someone who does it professionally, I'm not saying it can't, professionally online, so you can get the education you need and it's done properly for you to go. There's a lot of out there, but it depends for you what market you're going to go into. But that's, I'm a quite advocate of I like education, but it needs to be in certain. I think I learned more outside of the education system.
Of course, amazing. Thank you very much. So our CEO of Cogent and the creator of LetUsTalkIt says hi. He says, wonderful session with many practical inputs and hosting. So I think you guys should connect, because I think you're like-minded people and you're going to have lots of things to talk about, and you can you know, communicate. That is amazing. So guys, text us if you need Fit's presentation. So we'll have a pleasure to share it with you. So we're going to finish here. Thank you very much. Ask us any questions in the comments. Like, follow, subscribe, everything, everything they say. And you can write what do you want us to talk about next time on the webinar. So it was my pleasure having you here. Just thank you very much. I hope you had fun.
Thank you. It was a pleasure for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye now. Bye all.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.